Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Nuts Veeder, and today we'll be talking about my predictions for UFC Fight Night Minneapolis between Francis the Predator Ngannou and Junior dos Santos. Let's get into the fights. The first fight we have is between Maurice Green and Junior Albini. Albini is 14-5. He's 6'3" tall and has a 74-inch reach. He's currently in a 3-fight losing streak right now, with losses coming from Rosenstruck, Olenek, and Arlovsky, which are all pretty solid fighters, so that's something to kind of think about. Albini has speed and power early on in his fights, but tends to gas out and absorb a lot of shots as the fight goes on. Green is 7-3. He is 6'7" tall, and he has an 8-inch reach advantage in this fight. He's currently on a win streak of 2, but those 2 wins came against incredibly average fighters, in my opinion. Green has good speed, and he has an okay ground game, which makes him look pretty good in this matchup. Also, he has really good cardio, so because of cardio, I think I'm going to have to take Green by decision, although I could see this fight going either way. So the next fight we have is between Emily Whitmire and Amanda Ribas. Ribas is 6-1, and from what I've heard, she is super aggressive and likes to stand and trade. I don't know if that's really that true, though, because there's not that much information I could find about the chick on the internet. Whitmire is 4-2 and looks to be more of a ground fighter from what I've seen. Her striking is not the best, and she relies on takedowns to win fights. So in the end, I think it'll be a close fight. I'll take Whitmire by decision. Next fight we have is between Dalcha and Justin Ledet. Ledet is 9-2 with 1 no contest. He's faced better fighters than in my opinion. He only has 2 losses, and those losses were to Walker and Rakic, 2 really good fighters, in my opinion. Ledet's stand-up and ground game are okay, but nothing too amazing. Is 9-1, making his UFC debut. He has a reach advantage, he throws power shots, and he's really good in the clinch. I'd say this one's almost a toss-up, but I'll take by knockout. Then the next fight we have is Jared Gordon versus Dan Moret. Moret is 13-5. He has bad takedown defense and bad ground game, but he does have okay striking and a 5-inch reach advantage. Gordon is 14-3. He's a finisher, and he's okay on his feet as well as on the ground. He's probably going to want to keep this fight on the feet, though. And I think this fight is going to end early, probably a knockout for Gordon. Then we have Jordan Griffin versus Vince Murdoch. Murdoch is 12-3 with 1 no contest. In my opinion, Murdoch sucks big ball sack and is incredibly average at fighting. That's all I got to say about the dude. Griffin is 17-6 and has faced way better opponents than Murdoch. He's also better than Murdoch in every area of fighting, in my opinion. I think that this fight ends up in a submission by Griffin. The next fight we have is between Eric Anders and Vinicius Moreira, I think. Moreira is 9-2. He is slow, awkward, and is whack striking. He also had a really bad UFC debut against Alonzo Minifeld. Eric Anders is 11-4. He is strong. He likes takedowns. He has an okay ground game. He's okay at striking, but he has bad cardio and loses to anyone who's actually decent at fighting. I think Anders is the least garbage out of the 2 fighters, so I think I'll have to take Anders by a close decision win. Next on the card, we have a fight between Ricardo Ramos and Journey Newson. Newson is 9-1. He has some good power and has an alright ground game. Other than that, I don't know too much about the guy. Ramos is 12-2. He is an okay ground game and has a decent skill set overall as a fighter. He has more experience than Newson as well, so I'll go with Ramos by decision. Then next we have a really good fight. This one's between Alonzo Minefeld and Paul Craig. Craig is 11-3. He's bad in early rounds and has bad takedown defense. I did not see him taking Minefeld down much. Minefeld is 8-0. He KOs people very quickly. His average fight time is 2 minutes 26 seconds. I see this being another quick win for Minefeld, so I'm going to go Minefeld by way of knockout. Then we have Drew Dober versus Polo Reyes. Reyes is 8-6. He has good striking and will likely try to stay standing throughout this fight. Dober is 20-9 with 1 no contest. He's a bigger fighter in this fight, so that's a big factor. I think that's gonna kind of lean the tables towards Dober. He also has fought better opponents in the past, and he's a more experienced fighter. I'll take Dober by close decision. Next fight is between Roosevelt Roberts and Vince Pitchell. Pitchell is 11-2. He's strong. He's not amazing on the ground, but he does have good striking. Roberts is 8-0. He has good wrestling as well as a good stand-up game. He also has the reach advantage in this fight, so I'm going to be taking Roberts probably by knockout. Alright, so now we're starting to get to the fights that I'm actually kind of excited to see. We have Damian Maia versus Anthony Rocco Martin. Martin is 16-4. He's good on the ground, but not as good as Damian Maia, obviously. He's okay at striking, and he has the reach advantage in this fight for all that's worth. Maia is extremely good at the ground game. He has experience, and I don't see him losing this fight. So I'll go with Maia by submission. Then we have Hussier Formiga versus Joseph Benavidez. Benavidez is 27-5. He's a very good all-around fighter. He has good cardio, and he's faced very tough opponents in the past. Formiga is 23-5. He has poor striking, but does have the reach advantage in this fight. He likes to fight on the ground, but I think this one will stay standing. I'll take Benavidez by decision. Then we have probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. We have Francis Ngannou versus Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos is 21-5. He's recently had wins over Lewis, Tuivasa, and Rothwell. He's recently lost to Miocic. Junior Dos Santos has good boxing. He's good in the later rounds. His chin is kind of sketchy at this point. He's good on the ground and has pretty good movement, I'd say. Ngannou is 13-3. He recently has wins over Velasquez, Blades, and Overeem. Rip Overeem. Losses to Miocic and Lewis. That's tough. That loss to Lewis. I'll pretend that one didn't happen. Ngannou obviously has ungodly power. And he performs best in probably the first 2 rounds. Anything beyond that, I think he'll probably get gassed out. His punches at the beginning of fights and throughout, I'd say, are pretty unpredictable and super powerful. So, yeah, I don't think Dos Santos is going to be able to get out of the way of these punches. I think Ngannou's going to catch him and take him out in probably round 1 or 2 by way of knockout. And that's it for this video. So, if you want any more of these short UFC fight prediction videos, you best be liking the video and subbing to the channel. If you disagree with any of my predictions, feel free to, call me out in the comments. So, that's all I've got for you today, so I'm out.